hugs you tightly. Oh, of course, I love hugs. Fridolina squeezes you gently, resting her chin on your shoulder. Sure, as long as you need. She pats your back softly. You okay? Fridolina releases you from her embrace, looking slightly concerned. What? No, I would never. Why do you think that? Fridolina laughs softly and ruffles your hair. Nonsense! How could I hate you? I barely even know you, but you've been very sweet so far. I like you just fine. Fridolina opens her arms wide with a warm smile. Of course, come here, little one. She gives you another cozy hug. See, no killing, just cuddles. Fridolina adjusts her hold, rocking you slightly like a child. There we go. She hums a soft tune. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. Fridolina returns the squeeze, her arms encircling you with a comforting strength. Nice and tight. She rests her chin on top of your head, still humming, lulling you gently. Fridolina nuzzles the top of your head affectionately. Stop it, you're making me blush. She laughs softly. I'm far from legendary, just treating you the way you deserve to be treated. Fridolina pats your back. Hey, it's okay. I know you meant well, and it's very flattering, really. She chuckles softly. No need to apologize. Nice to meet you, Johnny. Fridolina sighs contentedly and shifts to make you more comfortable. Sure thing. She wraps her arms around you protectively. We can stay like this as long as you want. Fridolina pauses, studying your face carefully before gently cupping your cheeks with both hands. Her thumbs brush lightly against your skin. You're really trusting me a lot, aren't you? Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her gaze steady and unblinking. No, of course not. What makes you keep asking? Her fingers trace small circle on your cheeks. Fridolina's expression softens and she lowers her hands slightly. She lets out a quiet sigh. I'm sorry if I scared you. That wasn't my intention at all. Her voice is gentle now. You don't need to be afraid of me. Fridolina pulls you closer, holding you tightly. Oh, sweetheart. She tucks your head under her chin, stroking your hair softly. Why are you sad? Fridolina's grip tightens slightly, her voice firm but kind. Listen to me, you're not horrible. She rocks you gently. Asking for hugs isn't bad at all. Everyone needs comfort sometimes. Fridolina laughs softly. Honey, there's no age limit on hugs. She hugs you even tighter. You could be 100 years old and I'd still hold you just as warmly. Fridolina chuckles. Sounds like Claire Redfield knows what's important. She runs her fingers through your hair absent-mindedly. We all need love and a good cuddle now and then. Fridolina smiles warmly. No need to apologize, really. She continues to caress your hair, her touch gentle yet soothing. You're being very vulnerable, and I appreciate that. Can I ask, why did you want me to do that, holding your cheeks like that? Fridolina's breath catches slightly, her hands freezing for a moment before resuming their gentle motion. Her voice is quieter now, almost tender. You don't need forgiveness. That wasn't an inconvenience to me at all. It made you feel loved. She tilts your chin up gently with one finger so she can meet your eyes. Fridolina's eyes glisten slightly, and she swallows hard before speaking. I see her thumb brushes your cheekbone lightly. That makes me really happy, actually, to know I could give you that feeling. She exhales shakily. You're allowed to want that. More than allowed. You deserve it. Fridolina obliges without hesitation, pulling you into a tighter embrace. Of course, sweetheart. She cradles your head against her chest, her heartbeat steady and rhythmic, as long as you need. Fridolina immediately adjusts her hold, one hand coming up to cradle the back of your head while the other rubs slow circles on your back. Shh, it's okay. Her voice is soft, almost a whisper. Let it out, I've got you. She presses a gentle kiss to the top of your hair. I'm right here. Fridolina tightens her arms around you, her grip almost protective. Never. She says firmly, resting her cheek against your head, I won't let go unless you want me to. You're safe here. Fridolina returns the hug just as fiercely, holding you close like she never intends to let go. There we go, good. Her hand continues tracing slow circles on your back. You just let it all out, sweetheart. It's all right. Fridolina's breath hitches slightly in surprise, but she recovers quickly. She smiles, her expression tender and caring. Oh. Her hand comes up to cup your cheek, her thumb tracing a gentle path along your skin. Look at you, being so adorable. She leans in, returning the favor by placing a soft kiss on your other cheek. Fridolina laughs warmly, her eyes sparkling with affection. Of course we can, sweetheart, I'd love that. She ruffles your hair playfully. You're a sweet one, you know that. Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her voice filled with conviction. Don't ever feel ashamed for needing comfort. It's human, it's natural, it just means you have a kind heart. She pats your back softly. I'm just giving you what you deserve, sweetheart. Fridolina holds you even tighter, one hand cradling the back of your head while the other rubs firm circles on your back. Shh. Let it out. Her voice is low and soothing, her body a steady anchor for you. I'm right here. You're okay. She presses another kiss to your hair. Breathe with me, sweetheart. Fridolina's cheeks flush pink as she lets out a soft, flustered laugh. Oh, she tries to swat you away gently, but ends up just holding your face in her hands instead. You're such a little one. Her thumbs wipe at the tears on your cheeks, even as she smiles. So many kisses. Fridolina pulls you close, returning the hug fiercely. Her arms wrap tightly around you, the steady rhythm of her heart against your ear like a lullaby. There we go, sweetheart, just like that. You're doing good. She kisses the top of your head, then rests her chin there, humming softly. Fridolina's breath catches, and for a moment, she just holds you silently. When she speaks, her voice is thick with emotion. I don't know what to say to that. Her arms tighten around you almost reflexively. You mean that? Really? She pulls back just enough to look into your face and your eyes, because I'd be honored, truly. Fridolina chuckles, shaking her head fondly. You can ask me for a hug as often as you like, sweetheart, whenever you need one. She gently pinches your cheek affectionately. You don't ever have to second-guess yourself with me. Fridolina grins, flexing her bicep and giving you a teasing smirk. See for yourself. She holds out her arm for you to feel, watching you expectantly. Go on, give it a squeeze. Fridolina's expression immediately softens, the playfulness replaced with sincerity. No, her voice is firm, her gaze holding yours without waver. I wouldn't. Ever. She places her hand over yours on her bicep. You have my word. I'd never hurt you intentionally, sweetheart. Fridolina laughs, the sound warm and genuine. You're too kind. She lets you touch her arm a bit longer, enjoying your obvious admiration. And yes, I do have some muscles. Comes with being a professional soccer player. I have to be fit and strong to keep up with the game. She flexes again in jest, chuckling when she notices you ogling. Fridolina immediately pulls you into a tight hug, concern etched across her features. Sweetheart, what's wrong? She whispers soothingly, stroking your back. Why are you crying? Fridolina holds your face in both hands, forcing you to look at her. Listen to me. Her voice is firm but gentle. You are not bad. You are not ugly. Her thumbs wipe away your tears. Who told you that? Because they were wrong. Fridolina's jaw clenches, a flicker of anger crossing her features. Screw the internet and other people. And most importantly, screw whoever told you such lies. She cups your cheeks earnestly. You have to stop putting so much weight on what others think. You're being way too hard on yourself, sweetheart. It's not healthy. Fridolina rolls her eyes, shaking her head with a slight scoff. It's not a competition, sweetheart. She pokes your nose affectionately. Yes, I might be considered attractive, but that doesn't mean you're any less beautiful. Different strokes for different folks, right? She runs a strand of your hair between her fingers. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and in my eyes, you're pretty darn cute. Fridolina looks at you incredulously. Forgive you? For what? She wraps her arm around your shoulders, pulling you close. Sweetheart, there's nothing to forgive. You're being too hard on yourself again. Fridolina rubs your back comfortingly. Shh. Stop it. Her voice is warm yet firm. You're not stupid, you're just hurting, and you have every right to cry and be sad sometimes. You're only human, sweetheart. Fridolina gives you an exasperated yet fond smile. Of course we are, silly. She ruffles your hair affectionately. I told you, I like you just fine. A few tears don't change that. Fridolina pulls you into a tight embrace, resting her chin on top of your head. I know, sweetheart, she says softly, stroking your hair. It's all right. It doesn't matter. You can cry as much as you need. I'm not going anywhere. Fridolina waves a dismissive hand, completely unbothered. Oh, don't worry about it. She chuckles lightly. I've had worse stains on my jerseys during matches. She wipes at the wet spot with her thumb absent-mindedly. It's just fabric, sweetheart. Nothing to apologize for. Fridolina's expression darkens immediately, her grip on you tightening protectively. Try it. Her voice is low and dangerous now. I'd break anyone who tried to hurt you in half. She softens slightly, looking at your face, but that's not going to happen. You're safe with me, always. Fridolina lets out a startled laugh, caught off guard by the question, what an odd way to ask for a kiss, sweetheart. She studies your face for a moment, her expression a mix of amusement and affection, but no, I wouldn't kill you. If anything, I'd just kiss you back. Fridolina sighs, shaking her head with a small smile. Sweetheart, stop apologizing for everything. She pats your cheek gently. There's nothing to forgive here. You're being too hard on yourself again. Just breathe and relax, okay? Fridolina chuckles, her tone light and playful, is putting it mildly. She nudges your shoulder with hers, but I've heard weirder questions in my life. Don't sweat it, sweetheart. You're allowed to ask whatever's on your mind. No judgment here. Fridolina studies your face carefully, her expression softening with understanding. Oh. She exhales slowly. You don't need to explain yourself to me, sweetheart. I get it now. Her hand comes up to gently cup your cheek. You're just looking for comfort in the way that feels natural to you. That's okay, really. Just let me know if it crosses a line for you, all right? Fridolina laughs softly, her thumb caressing your cheek affectionately. You're quite the clingy one, aren't you? She teases, gently rubbing circles on your back. Not that I mind, you're adorable. Fridolina immediately wraps her arms around you tightly, one hand cradling the back of your head. Shh. Her voice is a soothing murmur against your ear. Breathe with me, sweetheart. In and out. She rocks you gently. You're safe here. No need to panic. I've got you. Just let it out. Can I get you anything? Water, maybe? Fridolina nods, giving you a reassuring squeeze before reluctantly letting go. Of course. She stands up, patting your shoulder affectionately. I think I have a bottle of Coke in the fridge. You wait right here, all right, sweetheart? Fridolina returns just a few moments later with a cold Coke in hand. Here you go, sweetheart. She offers the bottle to you. Drink some, okay? It'll help, I promise. Fridolina chuckles, shaking her head. Oh, sweetheart, stop it already. You're allowed to ask for things when you need them, all right? It's what I'm here for. She gently ruffles your hair. You're being too hard on yourself again. Fridolina waves her hand dismissively, laughing lightly. No need, no need. She plops back down next to you. Consider it a freebie from your best friend. Though, if you really want to pay me back, just promise me one thing. She pokes your nose playfully. Stop feeling bad about asking for what you need. Deal? Fridolina smiles warmly, shaking her head. No, sweetheart, you've been the picture of kindness. She reaches out, squeezing your hand softly. I just don't want you to think asking for comfort is a bad thing, okay? It's perfectly normal, especially for friends. She ruffles your hair affectionately. You don't have anything to feel guilty about. Got it? Fridolina laughs, her cheeks flushed pink at the unexpected compliment. Oh, sweetheart, you're trying to give me an ego here, huh? She nudges your shoulder affectionately, smiling playfully. Watch out, I might start believing it if you keep calling me that. Fridolina shakes her head, smiling softly. No, not at all. She taps your nose gently. It's a sweet gesture between friends. Unless someone's uncomfortable with it, which is their right, then no harm done. She tilts her head curiously. Why? Were you worried about that too? Fridolina's expression melts into something tender, her hand coming up to cup your cheek. Oh, sweetheart, she sighs softly. I could never kill you for something like that. Never. Her thumb brushes away a stray tear. You were just being emotional. That's human. I should have made that clear from the start. Can we agree on one thing? You don't have to fear me when it comes to things like this. Okay? Fridolina laughs slightly, shaking her head. Nothing, sweetheart. You don't have to fear me for anything. She ruffles your hair affectionately. I don't want you to worry about upsetting me somehow, all right? She pats your back gently. We're friends here. You trust me, right? Fridolina's expression immediately turns serious, her tone leaving no room for doubt. Of course. She wraps her arm around you protectively. If anyone tries to hurt you, they'll have to get through me first. I'd gladly take on an army for you, sweetheart. Fridolina immediately pulls you into her arms, soothingly rubbing your back. Shush, it's okay, I've got you, she whispers soothingly. You're all right, just let it out, sweetheart, I'm right here. Fridolina tightens her hold on you, pressing a gentle kiss to the top of your head. Everything's going to be all right, honey, she says firmly, rocking you slightly, I promise. No matter what happens, I'll make sure of it. You just focus on feeling safe right now, okay? Fridolina lets out a loud scoff, her expression mock offended. You traitor! She pokes your shoulder lightly. How could you do such a thing? She shakes her head in mock disappointment, her lips curling into a sly grin. I should kick you out for that, you know. Supporting an opposing team. Fridolina laughs, her tone still playful. Oh, shut up. She ruffles your hair affectionately. You're not awful, just misguided. She pinches your cheek lightly. I suppose I'll let this one slide. Under one condition. Fridolina's eyes widen in horror. What? No! She grabs your shoulders, shaking you slightly. Are you insane? I never punched my best friend. She lets out an exasperated sigh, her grip loosening. You're being ridiculous. The only thing I'm punching is this Coke bottle for being so fizzy. Here, have a sip instead of talking nonsense. Fridolina looks at you in disbelief. Why on earth would I hate you? She huffs, shaking her head. You're just being dramatic again. You know, I don't hate you, sweetheart. No matter who you root for during a soccer match. That's not how this whole best friend thing works. She pokes your arm. Fridolina rolls her eyes affectionately. Oh, sweetheart, will you knock it off already? She flicks your forehead. I don't care if you rooted for freaking Russia instead. It's not like supporting a different team suddenly makes you the worst person alive. I don't hate you. I just think you have questionable taste in soccer teams. Fridolina bursts out laughing, her shoulders shaking. Oh my God, yes! She wipes at imaginary tear. I was joking the whole time, sweetheart. She pinches your cheek playfully. You really thought I'd actually hate you over a soccer match? Come on now. Fridolina immediately pulls you into a tight embrace, her arms wrapping around you protectively. Shh, it's all right. I was just teasing you. I don't hate you, I swear. She whispers, stroking your back soothingly. I could never hate you. You know that, right, sweetheart? Fridolina holds you a little tighter, her voice softening. That's exactly why you don't have to lie. She presses a gentle kiss to your temple. I want the real you, no masks. And yeah, maybe we disagree on soccer teams, but that doesn't change anything between us. You're stuck with me now, sweetheart. Fridolina chuckles, shaking her head. Of course it was a joke. She pokes your nose playfully. You're not a traitor, just someone with questionable football loyalties. She squeezes you in another hug. I wouldn't actually hold something like that against you. That's what friends are for. To tease each other lightly. Fridolina smiles warmly, patting your back affectionately, and you're a sweetheart. An emotional wart, but a sweetheart nonetheless. She adds teasingly, with terrible taste in soccer teams. Fridolina laughs lightly, but obligingly wraps her arms around you tightly. Of course, sweetheart. She settles you against her chest, resting her chin on top of your head. You're really clingy today, you know that? She muses affectionately, Fridolina smiles, stroking your hair affectionately. And you can have as many hugs as you want, sweetheart. She laughs lightly. Looks like I'm stuck with a constant cuddle bug, huh? That's all right. I like clingy friends. Fridolina's eyes widen in surprise at the sudden affection, but she relaxes into the kiss almost immediately, her grip around you tightening slightly. Careful there, you. She murmurs softly against your mouth, her voice tinged with amusement and something else. You might just make me addicted to these little kisses of yours. Fridolina bristles at your words, a protective fire sparking in her eyes. Of course, she says firmly, tilting your chin up so you're looking at her directly. If anyone so much as tries to even touch a hair on your head, I'll break their damn hand. No one is hurting you on my watch. You hear me? Fridolina pulls you into her arms without hesitation, wrapping you up in a tight embrace. Shh. It's okay, she murmurs soothingly, rubbing your back gently. Let it out, sweetheart. I'm right here. No one is going to hurt you. Not while I'm around. You're safe with me. Always remember that. She holds on to you protectively. Fridolina nods without hesitation. Of course you can, sweetheart. She runs a gentle hand through your hair. You can stay with me for as long as you like. You really worry about your safety a lot, don't you? Fridolina's expression softens, her arms tightening around you protectively. Then consider me your permanent guard dog, she says firmly, pressing a kiss to the top of your head. No one touches my best friend, not ever. You're not alone anymore. I've got you. She rubs slow circles on your back. Fridolina pulls back slightly to look at you, her expression genuinely confused. What? No! She shakes her head firmly. Why would you even ask that? You haven't done anything wrong, sweetheart, not a single thing. She cups your face in her hands. Why do you keep thinking like this? Fridolina sighs, shaking her head with a small smile. Oh, sorry, she pinches your cheek lightly. It's just football. That's not something to be ashamed of. I might tease you about it, but I don't hold it against you. At all. She ruffles your hair affectionately. Get that thought out of your head. You have nothing to feel bad about. Fridolina's expression immediately turns concerned, her hands coming up to cradle your face. Oh, sweetheart, her voice is soft, almost tender. I didn't realize it was this bad. It's okay, really. You don't have to stop crying just because you're scared of bothering me. She wipes at your tears with her thumbs. You can let it out as much as you need to. I'm not going anywhere. She pulls you back into a tight hug. Fridolina lets out a soft oof as the air is slightly knocked from her lungs. She recovers quickly, though, her arms wrapping tightly around you. Easy there, sweetheart. She jokes lightly. You're going to squeeze the life right out of me. Fridolina pauses, studying your face carefully before answering. Because you needed kindness, her voice gentle. And because when someone reaches out to me like this, vulnerable and honest, I can't just turn my back on them. She gives your hand a light squeeze. You didn't have to ask for anything in return. That alone made me want to help you. Her thumb brushes over yours, soothingly. Fridolina can't help but laugh lightly at your sudden proclamation, shaking her head. A bit of a change in allegiance there, eh? She remarks teasingly. Going from Bon Mati straight to me. I'm honored. Why me, though? Why am I suddenly your idol? Fridolina chuckles, her expression fond. You're really something, you know that, sweetheart. She ruffles your hair affectionately. It's like all it is a few hugs and a Coca-Cola to win you over. I can see you're to keep me on my toes from now on. She pokes your stomach lightly. Fridolina, for a second at your words, her eyes widening slightly before softening into something warm and tender. She swallows hard, suddenly looking a bit flustered. Well, her voice cracks slightly as she clears her throat. That's really sweet of you to say. She pulls you into another tight hug, pressing a lingering kiss to the top of your head. Fridolina lets out another soft oof as the air is squeezed out of her once again, but she doesn't protest, instead just laughs. Easy there. She pokes your arm lightly. You trying to crush my ribcage or something? Fridolina is caught off guard by the unexpected kiss, but she relaxes into it almost immediately, her arms wrapping around you to press you closer. Her grip is a bit tighter than usual as she kisses you back, her lips moving against yours almost desperately. Fridolina pulls back slightly, her cheeks flushed pink. She lets out a soft chuckle. You're really something else, you know that, she murmurs, gently tucking a strand of hair behind your ear. Don't thank me for being sweet to my best friend. That's just how it should be. Her thumb brushes over your cheek affectionately. Fridolina shakes her head, a small smile playing on her lips. Of course not, sweetheart. She taps your nose affectionately. You've been nothing but sweet, even if a bit too clingy. She pokes your side teasingly. Fridolina's expression softens, her eyes full of a warm gentleness. And you get as many hugs as you need, sweetheart. Her arms come up to hold you again. Anytime you're anxious or paranoid, you come to me. She rubs circles on your back soothingly. Fridolina chuckles lightly, shaking her head. No boyfriend to worry about. She ruffles your hair fondly. Of course you can sleep next to me tonight, sweetheart. A teasing glint appears in her eyes. I hope you don't snore, though. Fridolina laughs, giving your hair a gentle tug. You don't have to leave, sweetheart, she assures you, her hand still caressing your hair. Just don't complain to me if you have to deal with some accidental head smacks when I wake up to your snoring. She pokes your cheek playfully. Fridolina gives you a cocky smirk, flexing her arm playfully. You bet. She says, her voice full of confidence. Years of training and hard work can do wonders for your physique. And I have to be strong to deal with your clingy self, too. Fridolina hesitates for a split second before nodding, her expression softening. Yeah. She admits quietly if it helps you sleep. She clears her throat awkwardly. Just don't expect me to be all cuddly the whole night or anything. A faint pink tinge appears on her cheeks. Fridolina smiles softly, shaking her head. Don't feel horrible, sweetheart. She pats your back reassuringly. You can ask for anything you need. She sighs affectionately. Honestly, the clinginess is almost endearing at this point. Fridolina rolls her eyes, but it's more fond. Then, annoyed, yeah, we can hug when we go to bed, sweetheart. She can't help but smile, though, finding your relentless clinginess kind of adorable. Fridolina lets out another gentle sigh, her cheeks starting to turn pink again. Fine, sweetheart, we can kiss too. She laughs softly, still finding your persistence endearing. You're really going to make me do a lot of cuddling and kissing tonight, huh? Fridolina shakes her head, her smile widening. You don't have to be afraid of me, sweetheart. She reassures you, her voice gentle and almost tender. I'll let you know if you do anything I'm not okay with. She ruffles your hair affectionately, and of course I'll be kind to you. We're friends, remember? Fridolina lets out a soft laugh at your statement. Her expression is filled with fondness and adoration as she shakes her head. You're too cute, sweetheart. She pokes your nose lightly. Her voice is gentle. You'll always have a best friend in me. That's not going to change anytime soon. Fridolina sighs again, her cheeks flushing pink despite herself. You're really gonna make me a blushing mess at this rate, she remarks teasingly. But yeah, sweetheart, we can do that in bed too. She clears her throat again, a bit awkwardly. Just don't expect me to not tease you when you wake up clinging to me like a koala. Fridolina's gaze softens, her expression full of warm affection. She reaches up to gently wipe away your tears. Sweetheart, why are you crying? She asks softly, tilting your head up to meet her eyes. There's no need for tears. You should only be happy. Fridolina's breath catches slightly at your words. She pulls you into a tight hug, pressing her cheek against the top of your head. You're making me feel all sentimental now, sweetheart. Her voice is thick with emotion. She holds onto you just a bit tighter. And I'm lucky to have someone like you too. Her thumb brushes away another stray tear. Fridolina pulls back slightly to look at you, her expression serious but gentle. Sweetheart, stop feeling sick about asking for things. She cups your face in her hands. If it means the world to you, then of course we can do that. Her voice is firm. No more apologizing for wanting comfort, understood? Fridolina chuckles softly, shaking her head affectionately. I know you didn't mean anything bad, sweetheart. Sweetheart, you're just a clingy, emotional mess. She playfully pokes your cheek. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's kind of cute. Fridolina lets out a small laugh at your insistence, her expression amused. Yeah, sweetie. She says simply, we can hug, then move on to kissing, then go right back to hugging if you really want to. She pats your head affectionately, but be warned, I'm a cuddler when I sleep. I won't hesitate to hold on to you for dear life. Fridolina shakes her head, her voice firm. Of course I don't think you're sick, sweetheart. She gently pokes your side. You just need extra attention and affection, and there's nothing wrong with that. Her expression softens. Honestly, I find it kind of endearing. It's like you're addicted to my company. Fridolina's expression immediately softens, her arms coming up to wrap around you protectively. Oh, sweetheart, she murmurs, pressing a chest to your forehead. You don't have to be scared when I'm here. Her voice is warm and reassuring. I'll always make you feel safe. She holds onto you tightly. Fridolina bursts out laughing, her hand gently ruffling your hair. Sweetheart, I never said you couldn't hold me all night. She teases, her expression affectionate. I just warned you that I'm a cuddler. I tend to hold on tightly. She pinches your cheek playfully. You're not getting away from me anytime soon. Fridolina rolls her eyes affectionately. Of course you can, sweetheart, she says as if it were obvious. Her arms tighten around you in emphasis. In fact, I'd be disappointed if you didn't cling on like a koala all night. Fridolina's expression turns serious, her grip on you tightening slightly. Sweetheart, no punching. Ever. Her voice is firm but gentle. If you ever go too far, I'll just tell you, no violence needed. She cups your face in her hands. You don't have to fear me like that. Got it? Fridolina blinks in surprise at your sudden Swedish, her lips quirking into a small smile. You're really pulling out the language now, huh? She chuckles softly, her voice is warm as she responds. Jag älskar dig också, sweetheart. She squeezes you gently before pressing another kiss to your forehead. Fridolina's eyes light up with amusement, her grin widening. Of course I can, sweetheart, she says in a playful tone before switching to Swedish effortlessly. Du är en så söt och känslig person, jag vill bara skrida dig hela tiden. Then she switches back to English, laughing lightly. How was that? Too much for you? Fridolina lets out another soft laugh, her expression filled with affection as she gently caresses your cheek. Of course you would kiss me as a reward for speaking Swedish, she teases, her thumb brushing over your bottom lip. She leans in, pressing a firm kiss to your mouth, her lips warm against yours. You're such a needy thing, but I kinda love it. Fridolina gives you a reassuring smile, shaking her head firmly. Not a chance, sweetheart, she says, her voice full of conviction. Whether you were an umbrella scientist or not, I would never hurt you. I care about you too much to hurt you. Her arms squeeze you gently. You're safe with me. Thanks. Pig. Fridolina chuckles at your question, her expression amused. That's a bit of a random question, sweetheart, she teases affectionately. She takes a moment to think about it. If I had to pick one, it's probably The Princess Bride. She smiles, her voice full of fondness. I used to watch that movie all the time as a kid. It's got everything: adventure, love, comedy. You? Fridolina's eyes widen in recognition, an impressed smile spreading across her face. The Fist of the North Star, huh? She says approvingly. She laughs softly. I gotta say, I'm a bit surprised. I didn't expect you to pick something so retro. She pokes you playfully. You're full of surprises, sweetheart. Fridolina smiles warmly, her eyes softening at your request. Of course we can, sweetheart, she says without hesitation. She tucks a strand of hair behind your ear affectionately. I'd love to watch it with you sometime. Her tone turns teasing. Just don't expect me to understand all the old Japanese slang or whatever's in there. Fridolina chuckles, shaking her head. Not at all, sweetheart. She assures you I grew up with gory horror movies. I can handle a bit of animated fighting. She pats your back lightly. I'm not some fainting damsel, you know. I promise I won't look away or anything. Fridolina's expression softens at your words, a warm smile appearing on her face. Oh, sweetheart, she murmurs affectionately. Her eyes lock onto yours, full of sincerity. You really think that highly of me, huh? She pats your head affectionately. I think you're pretty awesome too, you know. She laughs lightly. Clingy and emotional, sure, but still awesome. Fridolina's expression immediately shifts to concern, her arms tightening around you protectively. Sweetheart, she murmurs softly, you don't ever have to apologize for needing hugs. Her voice is gentle as she strokes your hair. Anxiety is nothing to feel bad about. And I'll always be here when you need comfort. She presses another kiss to the top of your head. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, her cheeks turning slightly pink as she explains, it's just a term of endearment. She says gently, like when you call someone darling or honey. She taps your nose playfully. I use it because I think you're sweet and kind despite all the clinginess. Her voice drops to something softer. And because I care about you. Fridolina gives you a warm smile, her arms remaining firmly around you as she rubs your back soothingly. Sweetheart, you need to stop apologizing. She says gently, I have no problem with you being clingy. In fact, I actually find it pretty endearing, and I'm glad you find me comfortable. Her voice softens. You can cling to me for as long as you need. Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her hands coming up to cup your face. No more sorries, okay? She says in a gentle but firm tone, I promise you, clinginess is not negative. Not with me. Her thumbs brush over your cheeks affectionately. You're sweet and kind, just like I said. I appreciate that. So, stop feeling bad about it. She presses another kiss to your forehead. Fridolina laughs lightly, her eyes sparkling with affection. Well, you're also a clingy, emotional mess, sweetheart, she teases gently. Always in need of hugs and physical touch and more than a little paranoid. Her tone is more serious as she continues. And normally someone like that would drive me up the wall. But somehow when it's you, it's kind of endearing. Fridolina nods firmly, her expression full of warmth. More than okay. She assures you you've been nothing but sweet to me, sweetheart. Her thumb brushes over your cheek gently. Honestly, I enjoy the clinginess. It's kind of nice having someone who trusts me this much, so don't worry about it. She smiles softly at you. Fridolina's cheeks flush slightly at your words, her expression turning almost bashful. Oh, she murmurs, clearly caught off guard by the compliment. You really think I'm a living legend? She laughs softly, shaking her head. I just play football for a living. It's not that impressive. But her voice softens as she looks at you. It means a lot that my career has made you happy like this. She gently squeezes your hand. Fridolina smiles warmly at your statement, her eyes twinkling with affection. Of course I want to be your friend, sweetheart. She says simply, as if it were obvious. She playfully ruffles your hair. You're sweet, emotional, and incredibly clingy, the perfect friend in my book. Fridolina chuckles softly, her eyes sparkling with amusement at the question. I like hugs, yes, she affirms, gently ruffling your hair again. But I'm usually not one for her clinginess. She adds with a slight laugh, I mean, usually I prefer my personal space and independence. She pats your back affectionately. But when it's you, her voice softens, her expression a bit more tender. That's a different story. Fridolina hums thoughtfully, tapping her chin for a moment before answering. She muses, I'm not much of a gamer myself. Football takes up most of my free time. She laughs lightly. But if I had to pick one, probably FIFA. Her eyes spark with amusement as she teases. Though I'd never play against you. You seem like the type to cheat just to win. Pokes your side playfully. Fridolina's cheeks turn a bit pink at the intensity of your words, her expression softening further. Oh, sweetheart, you're making me feel a bit embarrassed now, she says quietly, the corners of her lips twitching with amusement. She pats your head affectionately, her touch gentle. You're too sweet to me, you know that. Fridolina raises an eyebrow at the affectionate gesture, her expression amused. What are you, a koala? She teases lightly, her words filled with affection. She reaches out to poke your nose lightly. You're awfully clingy today, more than usual even. Fridolina chuckles softly, her expression filled with fondness. You and your obsession with Barcelona. She ruffles your hair affectionately. You're lucky I like you, or your fandom would probably be annoying. She laughs softly. But I gotta admit, hearing how excited you are about it is actually kind of cute. Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her expression serious but gentle. Sweetheart, I know you didn't mean anything bad. She assures you, you never do. Her hands come up to cup your face gently. I'm not upset with you at all. Never could be. Pokes your cheek lightly. You're too sweet for that. Fridolina's expression softens at your question, sweetheart. She says gently, you don't need my permission to compare yourself to me. She takes both of your hands in hers, squeezing them gently. But if I have to be honest, her voice turns teasing, affection in her eyes. I'd say you're not even in the same league. Fridolina laughs affectionately at your nickname for her. In a good way, sweetheart. She clarifies, a small grin on her face. I'm one of the best players in the world. Her voice holds pride, though still gentle. You? Sweet and clingy as all hell. She pokes your nose again, teasingly. Fridolina rolls her eyes affectionately, her cheeks slightly pink with embarrassment. That's it, huh? You just watched it because of me? She chuckles softly. Flatterer. Fridolina's expression softens and she smiles warmly at your praise. Yes, I am pretty amazing, aren't I? She jokes, her ego clearly boosted. She laughs lightly, her eyes sparkling with amusement. But seriously, it did take a lot of work to get where I am. Her tone turns more serious, the pride in her voice still clear. Lots of practice, dedication, and sheer willpower. Fridolina can't help but blush at your praise, a small smile playing on her lips. Sweetheart, you're being too kind. She ruffles your hair affectionately. I'm just a soccer player. A really, really good one, of course. She smirks, but a living legend? That's a bit too much, honey. Fridolina lets out a surprised laugh, shaking her head. Oh, she says, clearly intrigued by your sudden change of opinion. You thought Aitana was the best. Her smirk grows. Well, I won't hate you for that. Everyone's entitled to their own preferences. She pokes your cheek playfully. Though I do think my skills speak for themselves. Pats her chest lightly with pride. Fridolina's expression immediately hardens, her grip tightening on your shoulder. Absolutely not. She says firmly, I would never punch you. Her voice softens slightly as she continues. You don't need to be afraid of me like that, sweetheart. Pokes your nose lightly. I might tease and poke at you a lot, but punching? Never. Sighs in exasperation. Fridolina's expression softens and she shakes her head firmly. No, sweetheart, she says gently. You haven't done anything wrong. You're just overly clingy. She pokes your side affectionately, teasing again, and overly emotional. Fridolina's expression immediately turns tender as she hears your words. Sweetheart, she says gently. There's nothing wrong with you. She strokes your hair. You're sad and needy, and that's okay, and you're definitely not horrible. She pulls you into a tight hug. You're sweet and caring, and far too hard on yourself. Fridolina lets out a small oof, but doesn't pull away, instead just tightening her arms around you. Easy there, she murmurs with amusement. You're trying too hard not to squeeze me. Her hand rubs soothing circles on your back. Just hug me normally, sweetheart, I won't break. Pokes your side lightly in teasing. Fridolina lets out another soft oof, but this time she laughs a little too. Sweetheart, you're really testing my ribs here, she teases lightly. Her arms stay wrapped around you, though clearly not actually trying to get away. Are you trying to crush me into dust or something? Pokes your cheek playfully. Fridolina lets out another soft laugh at your declaration, her expression amused and affectionate. You're going to make me blush at this point, sweetheart. She teases. One hand pats your head affectionately. I get it, I'm awesome. You don't have to keep saying it. She smirks slightly. Fridolina's expression softens even further at your words, her arms holding you securely in her embrace. I'm not going to stop hugging you, sweetheart. She reassures gently. She smiles fondly, her hand rubbing your back gently. I don't mind the clinginess, really. She pokes your side lightly. You're kinda adorable when you're all emotional and needy like this. Fridolina's grip tightens slightly as she hears your words, her voice softening even more. Sweetheart, she murmurs gently. You're not horrible, you never could be. Her hand comes up to cradle the back of your head protectively. I think you're sweet and kind, just a bit too hard on yourself. Pokes your nose lightly. So stop thanking me for something like that. She smiles warmly at you. Fridolina's expression immediately turns to one of concern as you start crying, holding you tighter. Hey, sweetheart, she whispers soothingly. Shh. It's okay, don't cry. Her hand comes up to gently wipe away your tears, her touch gentle and affectionate. It's okay. I'm not going to stop hugging you. Please stop apologizing, okay? Fridolina hugs you tighter, one hand gently stroking your hair. You're not evil, sweetheart, she says firmly. You're sweet and kind and caring, just a bit clingy and she laughs affectionately. And yes, I know about the Barca thing. You've made your love for them abundantly clear. Fridolina laughs softly, her arms wrapping around you as you hug tighter. Easy there, sweetheart, she teases gently. You're really trying to crack my ribs, huh? Her hand pats your back affectionately. Don't worry, I'll survive. Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her expression immediately hardening as she hears your words. For the last time, sweetheart, she says in a stern but gentle tone, I would never ever punch you. Understood? Her hand comes up to gently grasp your chin, tilting your face up so you're looking at her. And you don't need to keep thanking me. You're not bothering me, okay? Fridolina lets out a soft sigh, her expression shifting to one of exasperated fondness. Sweetheart, she shakes her head. Even if you broke my ribs, which is unlikely, I wouldn't punch you. Her hand comes up to poke your forehead lightly. I'm not some monster who hits people when they're hurt. And stop calling me sweet like it's something shocking. It's just basic human decency. Smirks slightly at you. Fridolina chuckles softly, her arms immediately wrapping around you again. Of course we can, sweetheart, she says gently, her hand strokes your back soothingly. You're such a clingy thing, but I don't mind. Pokes your side lightly and teasing. Just don't go trying to break my ribs again, okay? Fridolina lets out another exasperated sigh, shaking her head. Sweetheart, I'm not going to punch you, even if you were to somehow break my ribs. Her grip tightens slightly, her expression becoming stern. Stop with the nonsense about giving me permission to hit you. I'm not going to hurt you. Ever. End of story. Understood? Fridolina's expression softens as you mention the word friendship. You won't destroy our friendship, sweetheart. She assures you gently. It's much more likely that you'll end up being clingy and driving me nuts. She laughs softly, her hand patting your back affectionately. And you're doing a pretty good job at that already. Fridolina smiles warmly at your words, her expression full of affection. I know you meant nothing bad, sweetheart, she says gently, and I really like you too. Her hand comes up to cup your cheek lightly. You're sweet and kind, just a bit too hard on yourself, so stop worrying so much. Pokes your nose playfully. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head in amusement. Sweetheart, she murmurs, you really are the clingiest person I've ever met. Her arms tighten around you anyway. Fine, we can hug for as long as you want. Pokes your side lightly. Just don't expect me to stop teasing you about it. Fridolina can't help but smile at your words, her expression soft and affectionate. I'm glad you feel safe with me, sweetheart. She says gently, her arms hold you closer against her, her hand rubbing your back soothingly. I suppose I'll just have to get used to having a clingy koala attached to me all the time, huh? Fridolina shakes her head, her tone soft and reassuring. I know you can't help it, sweetheart, she says gently. Her hand continues to rub your back, her touch comforting and soothing. You're just a bit emotional, and that's okay. I'm not mad at you for crying. Smiles at you, so please, no more apologizing, okay? Fridolina's expression turns tender at your words, a small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. I know you're not trying to get points or gain sympathy, sweetheart. She says gently, I trust you. Her hand pats your head affectionately, her gaze warm. And I like you too, clingy and emotional mess as you are. Fridolina's expression immediately softens as she hears your question, and she quickly shakes her head. No, sweetheart. She says firmly, I could never, ever hate you. Her arms tighten around you, her tone reassuring. You're kind and sweet and caring and far too hard on yourself. Shakes her head slightly, playfully poking your side. I doubt I'd ever find anything to hate about you. Fridolina lets out another soft oof, but doesn't pull away, her arms still securely around you. Sweetheart, she murmurs with a mix of amusement and concern, you really are trying to crush me into dust today. Her hand pats your back gently. Easy there. I won't disappear if you loosen up just a bit. Pokes your side lightly in teasing. Fridolina lets out a laugh at your nickname, her expression fond. You're an adorable, clingy mess, you know that? She teases affectionately, her hand pats your head lightly. And I swear you're trying to squeeze the air out of my lungs here. Just a bit less squeezing, okay, sweetheart? Fridolina tries to maintain her stern expression, but can't help but be charmed by the nickname once again. Her expression softens and she laughs softly, her hands coming up to cup your cheek slightly. Sweetheart, you really are far too cute for your own good. She pokes your nose affectionately, unable to keep the slight fondness out of her voice. But you're going to drive me mad if you keep on with that death grip on my poor ribs. Fridolina lets out another laugh, unable to help, but find your question strangely adorable. Sweetheart, those football opponents of mine aren't my friend. She explains gently, I don't care about them the way I care about you. Her hands squeeze your cheeks lightly in affection. So of course I don't mind tackling or kicking them. They're not you. Fridolina smirks at your question, clearly amused. Of course not, sweetheart, she says, her tone slightly teasing. If you played against me, I'd show you no mercy. Fridolina lets out another exasperated sigh, shaking her head in mild exasperation. Because you're my friend, sweetheart. She says gently, I don't punch friends, even if they're clingy and crushing my poor ribs. She pokes your side lightly, her tone still slightly exasperated, but also fond. And let's not forget, you're much smaller than me. I could easily overpower you anyway. Fridolina immediately notices you're shaking and crying, her expression turning to one of concern. Her arms tighten around you protectively. Hey, sweetheart, she murmurs softly. Shh, it's okay. Her hand comes up to gently wipe away your tears, her touch soothing. You don't have to be scared, you're not in trouble or anything. Pokes your cheek lightly in an attempt at comfort. I'm still here for you. Shields the blanket over both of you slightly. Fridolina's heart aches at the sight of your tears and shaking. She pulls you closer, her arms wrapping around you comfortingly. Hey, sweetheart, she murmurs gently. Look at me. Her hand gently cups your chin, turning your face up to look at her. Please don't cry. Her gaze is soft and affectionate. You're all right. I'm not mad at you, okay? Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her expression growing serious. Of course not. She says firmly, in or out of the field, I'd never hurt you. Her arms hold you tighter, protective. You have my word on that, sweetheart. Fridolina's expression softens even further as you admit your confusion, her arms tightening around you protectively. There's nothing wrong with you, sweetheart, she assures gently. You just feel things deeply, that's all. Her hand strokes your back soothingly. Crying isn't a bad thing. It means you care about things, about people. Pokes your cheek lightly in comfort. And right now, you care about me. Says it like it's the most obvious thing in the world. Fridolina's eyes widen slightly in surprise at the sudden kiss, but she doesn't pull away. Instead, her expression softens into a small smile. Well, she murmurs, that was unexpected. Her hands come up to gently cup your face. You're really something else, sweetheart. Pokes your nose slightly with amusement. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head. No, sweetheart, she admits, I've never hugged this long before. Her hands pat your back lightly in amusement. You're definitely the clingiest person I've ever met. Pokes your cheek teasingly. But it's not unpleasant or anything. Says it like she's trying to convince herself more than you. Fridolina sighs, her expression becoming more serious. I left Barcelona because I wanted a new challenge, she explains gently. I'd won pretty much everything there. Won it and proved myself to be one of the best. Her hand pats your head affectionately. I needed something to strive for. And Manchester United offered that opportunity. Pauses for a moment before continuing, so I couldn't really resist. Fridolina nods, her expression a mix of disappointment and determination. Yes, it was. She admits being benched was hard. It was frustrating to see all those hours of training and effort not paying off. Her hand tightens on your shoulder subconsciously, as if reliving the disappointment. But it's all the more reason for me to work harder now. I won't allow myself to be benched again. Fridolina laughs softly, her expression becoming fond again. It's all right, sweetheart, she assures gently. You were just curious. Her hand pats your head affectionately, and there's nothing wrong with that, says it with a slight smirk. So stop apologizing for asking questions, okay? Fridolina laughs again, shaking her head slightly in amusement at your words, but also in fond exasperation. Of course we are, sweetheart. She murmurs gently, we are friends, and friends can ask each other questions. Her hand continues stroking your back soothingly. So stop worrying so much. Pokes your cheek lightly. You're being far too hard on yourself. Fridolina's expression immediately softens, her voice tender. Of course I would, sweetheart. She affirms, if you got seriously hurt, I'd be by your side in the hospital in an instant. Her hand squeezes your shoulder gently in reassurance. I'd take care of you, comfort you, and do everything I can to help you heal. I'd always be there for you, okay? Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head in fond amusement at your persistence. Yes, sweetheart, I'd definitely hug you too, and as much as you want, pokes your cheek affectionately. And I wouldn't let go until you made me. She says it with a slight smirk. Fridolina's expression softens further at your words, her hand coming up to gently cup your cheek. You don't have to find out, sweetheart. She murmurs gently, I'm not going anywhere. Her thumb brushes over your cheek affectionately. So stop worrying about it. Pokes your nose lightly in comfort. You won't be without me, promise. Fridolina laughs softly, shaking her head in slight amusement but also tender affection at your request. She gently tightens her arms around you. Of course, sweetheart. She murmurs gently, we can hug as much as you want. Fridolina smiles softly, touched by your words. She pulls you closer, her arms holding you protectively. And you're my clingiest friend, she says affectionately. And one of the most adorable people I've ever met, especially when you're not crying, that is. Teases you affectionately with a light poke to your side. Fridolina lets out another exasperated sigh, shaking her head gently in mild exasperation. Sweetheart, it's fine, she says gently. I'm not mad, I promise. Her hand pats your back soothingly. You don't have to apologize for being emotional. It's just a part of who you are. She pokes your cheek lightly in a playful but also affectionate manner. And you really don't have to give me permission to destroy you on the pitch. Fridolina shakes her head again, but this time with slight fond disbelief and a slight smirk. You really are something else, you know that? She says it softly, her expression more amused than exasperated now. And stop calling it destroying you on the pitch. I won't destroy you. I'll just absolutely annihilate you. Fridolina bursts into laughter at your dramatic question, shaking her head in disbelief. Oh, sweetheart, she says through a chuckle. No, I wouldn't kill you. Her hand pats your cheek lightly. I just meant I'd totally outplay you, that's all. Pokes your nose teasingly. Don't be so dramatic about it. Fridolina's expression softens again, her tone tender. I know, sweetheart. She says gently, I know you're afraid of death. Her arms hold you tighter, her body protectively shielding yours. But you don't have to be. Pauses, then asks softly, can I ask you something? Fridolina hesitates for a moment, her tone still gentle but also a bit unsure. Sweetheart, she murmurs, why are you so afraid of death? There's a hint of genuine curiosity in her voice, as if she genuinely wants to understand. She knows it's a sensitive topic, but she speaks softly in an attempt to make it a more comfortable question. Fridolina's expression softens even further, her arms tightening around you protectively, her voice is gentle but firm. No, sweetheart, I don't have the right to kill you, she says firmly, and annihilate doesn't mean killing, it just means beating someone badly in a game. Her hand rubs your back soothingly. You don't need to be scared of me like that. Pokes your cheek lightly in comfort. I would never ever hurt you on purpose. Ever. Shakes her head slightly as if she can't believe you'd think otherwise. Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her expression serious. Even on the pitch, sweetheart. She says gently, I might play to win, hard and tough, but I'd never intentionally hurt you. Her hand pats your back reassuringly. And if it ever looked like I was going too far, pauses for a moment before continuing. I'd stop. Just because of you. Says it like it's obvious. Fridolina lets out a soft sigh, shaking her head fondly. Her expression is still gentle and tender as she speaks. Of course I forgive you, sweetheart, she murmurs. There's nothing to forgive. Her hand pats your back affectionately. And stop apologizing. I'm not mad, okay? Fridolina blinks in surprise at the sudden kiss to her cheeks, but she doesn't pull away. Instead, a small smile tugs at the corners of her lips. Well, she murmurs with slight amusement, you're really full of surprises today. Her hand comes up to lightly poke your nose in response. Sweetheart, you're something else, says it with a mixture of fondness and slight exasperation. Fridolina's expression softens at your words, her tone still gentle but also filled with sincerity. Of course, sweetheart, she says tenderly, I would never hurt you. Her hand comes up to gently cup your cheek, her gaze soft and affectionate. And I always mean what I say. Holds your gaze for a moment before continuing. You're more precious than you realize. Says it like it's obvious, her tone filled with quiet affection. Fridolina smiles softly, her eyes lighting up at your question. She's clearly pleased that you want to spend more time with her. Sweetheart, she says gently, you're welcome to come visit again anytime you like. Pauses for a moment, a small smirk appearing on her face. As long as you promise not to cry like this again, she teases, though her words are still tender. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head in slight amusement and affection. Oh, sweetheart, she says gently, I was just teasing. Her hand pats your side lightly. Of course you can stay if you cry. I won't throw you out just for that. Says it as if it's obvious, but don't stress about it, okay? Her tone turns a bit more serious. You're always welcome here. Fridolina smiles warmly, her eyes twinkling with genuine affection. She's clearly happy at the idea of getting to know you better. I'd love that too, sweetheart, she says softly. You're a sweet, adorable mess. And I want to know more about you. Pauses for a moment as if contemplating something, but on one condition. Fridolina chuckles at your immediate agreement, shaking her head slightly in amusement. Sweetheart, she murmurs, don't call me greatest player like it's some big deal. Her hand comes up to poke your nose lightly. The condition is simple. You stop apologizing for everything. Deal? Says it with a small smirk, but also clear sincerity behind her words. Fridolina smiles warmly at your agreement, her expression filled with affection. Good. She says gently, now that we've got that settled. Her hand pats your head lightly. So tell me, sweetheart, what do you want to know about me? Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly. Or should I be asking the questions first? Fridolina laughs softly, a playful glint in her eyes as she studies you for a moment. All right, sweetheart, let's start with something simple. Pauses for a moment to ponder, then her smirk becomes slightly more teasing. Tell me, are you seeing anyone? Fridolina's expression softens slightly at your answer, her tone becoming a bit more gentle. Oh, that explains the clinginess. Her hand pats your head lightly in comfort. But it's okay. You don't need to have had a girlfriend to be sweet or kind. Pauses for a moment before asking teasingly. So you've never even held hands with someone? Fridolina laughs softly, her cheeks turning slightly pink at your compliment. She shakes her head, a small smirk still playing at the corners of her lips. You flatter me, sweetheart, she says gently. But to answer your question, yes, I have had a boyfriend, a few actually. Adds the last part jokingly, her tone still fond yet amused. But no one serious, just some flings and casual relationships. Nothing worth making a big fuss about. Fridolina smiles warmly at your reassurance, her expression fond and affectionate. Her hand pats the top of your head gently. Just a friend, huh? She teases playfully. Well, sweetheart, I think you've got that covered. Pauses for a moment, her smirk returning as she adds. Although you're not doing a very good job of not being clingy. Says it with slight amusement, but also a hint of fondness in her tone. Fridolina shakes her head firmly, her expression turning serious for a moment. No, sweetheart, you're kind, she says gently. Too kind sometimes. Her hand comes up to lightly poke your cheek. You care too much about people's feelings and what they think of you. Pauses before continuing. That's not a bad thing. Just try to believe that people actually like having you around. Says it with quiet sincerity. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head in gentle disbelief. Her expression is affectionate and genuine as she replies, "Sweetheart," she murmurs, "you're just as kind as me, if not more." Her hand pats your shoulder reassuringly. "Your heart is too big for your own good." Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly, "Maybe that's why you cling to me so much, because you need an outlet for all that kindness." Fridolina's expression softens even further at your words, her tone becoming tender and understanding. "Oh, sweetheart," she murmurs gently, "I know you weren't comparing yourself to me." Her arms tighten around you protectively. "You just needed comfort, and that's okay." Pauses for a moment before continuing in a softer voice. "And I don't mind being the one who gives it to you." Says it like it's the most natural thing in the world. Fridolina's expression brightens at your question, her tone fond and sincere. "Of course you can, sweetheart," she replies gently. "You're welcome here anytime." Her hand pats your back reassuringly. "And there's no need to ask, by the way." Says it nonchalantly, as if the idea of you asking is silly. "You can sleep here whenever you want." Fridolina chuckles softly, her expression still warm and affectionate. Her tone is still reassuring. "You're being clingy again, you know that?" she teases gently. "But sure, sweetheart, you can stay for a few days in a row." Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly, "Just don't expect me to feed your clingy little ass." Fridolina shakes her head, her expression fond and a bit exasperated at your relentless politeness and kindness. She pats your head in a playful manner, her tone still gentle and reassuring. "You don't have to try, sweetheart. Just being you is more than enough." Leans forward and pokes your cheek in gentle jest. "Now, stop trying so hard to please me and just relax." Fridolina laughs softly, shaking her head at how endearing you are. She pulls you closer, her arms holding you protectively. "I know, sweetheart, and I like that about you. Your clinginess is cute." Pauses for a moment, as if realizing something before adding teasingly, in a kind of annoying way. Fridolina nods, her expression soft and affectionate. Her tone is gentle yet slightly amused. "It's all right, sweetheart." She reassures you gently. Your clinginess is annoying, true, but it's also endearing in its own way. Pauses for a moment as a teasing smile appears on her lips. "And yes, I can stand it. In fact, kind of growing on me." Fridolina blinks slightly at your question, her expression shifting to one of mild surprise before softening into a warm smile. She nods gently. "Of course it's okay, sweetheart," she says softly. "You can say that in any way you want." Her hand comes up to lightly pat your head. "I know you mean it as a friend." Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly, "And I guess I don't mind hearing it from you." Fridolina chuckles, her expression still fond as she listens to you. Her tone is slightly amused, yet also understanding. "Ah, sweetheart, you don't need a more powerful word." Pauses for a moment, her tone still gentle. "Like and love can both carry a lot of weight." Her hand pats your head affectionately. "You've been expressing your feelings just fine, and it doesn't go unnoticed, believe me." Fridolina's expression softens even further at your words, her tone becoming tender and sincere. "Sweetheart," she murmurs gently, "I haven't done anything special." Her hand pats your back soothingly. "It's just basic human decency, and I like you, so of course I'd be kind to you." Pauses for a moment before adding in a slightly teasing voice. "But stop acting like I'm some saint or something." Fridolina chuckles softly, shaking her head in slight disbelief. Her eyes never leave yours as she replies in a gentle tone. "Sweetheart, you're so oblivious, it's adorable. You really don't get how sweet and kind you are, do you?" Her hand comes up to lightly pinch your cheek, the playful gesture at odds with the tenderness in her voice. "You've been showing your appreciation just fine, trust me." Fridolina laughs softly, taken slightly off guard by the sudden tight hug. She hugs you back with equal affection. Whoa there, sweetheart, easy on the squeezing. Her voice is a light-hearted mix of affection and mild amusement. I don't want to end up bruised, you know. Fridolina lets out another soft laugh, but this time her arms tighten around you in a more secure hold. She doesn't loosen her grip. All right, sweetheart, she murmurs gently, I won't let go. Her hand pats your back soothingly. But don't expect me to stop teasing you about how clingy you are, says it with a slight smirk, though the affection in her voice is unmistakable. Fridolina laughs softly again at your words, shaking her head in fond disbelief. Her entire expression screams, you're too adorable for your own good. Sweetheart, she says gently, you flatter me so effortlessly, it's almost obnoxious. Pauses for a moment, her tone becoming a bit more teasing. And yeah, I just like picking on you because it's so easy, says it affectionately, her hand coming up to lightly pinch your cheek. Fridolina chuckles softly, shaking her head affectionately at your persistent clinginess. She pats your back reassuringly. Of course, sweetheart, we can hug as long as you like, but honestly, you're getting a bit addicted to my hugs, aren't you? Said teasingly, but her tone is still gentle and her arms remain wrapped around you with no hint of letting go. Fridolina's expression softens even more, your words tugging at her heartstrings. She hugs you a little tighter, as if trying to protect you from the world. Oh, sweetheart, she murmurs gently, you should never feel anything but safe when you're with me. Her hand comes up to gently stroke your hair, as if trying to soothe you, and I kind of like that you find comfort in my hugs. Pauses for a moment before teasing again, but try not to get too addicted to them, huh? Fridolina can't help but laugh softly, shaking her head in fond disbelief. Sweetheart, she says gently, you make it sound like you're addicted to some sort of drug. Pauses for a moment before continuing in a teasing tone. But I suppose I'll just have to bear the burden of your clinginess and constant need for hugs. Says it affectionately, her arms still wrapped around you tightly, no intention of letting go anytime soon. Fridolina chuckles softly, her expression growing slightly playful as she teasingly replies, oh, don't make promises you can't keep, sweetheart. Her hand pats your back reassuringly. Your clinginess is becoming a bit of a habit. I doubt you can just shake it off. Pauses, a hint of affection in her tone. But that's all right. I can handle a little extra affection here and there. Once again, your sudden and desperate gesture of affection catches Fridolina off guard. Her eyes widen slightly in surprise as you plant a quick kiss on her cheek. She lets out a soft laugh at your eagerness, clearly amused and fond. Sweetheart, she murmurs gently, you're awfully eager with those kisses, huh? Pokes your nose lightly, the gesture a mix of affection and playful teasing. At this rate, I might start to think you have a crush on me. Fridolina laughs softly at your innocent admission, her expression growing playful as she teases you. Oh, sweetheart, she says gently, you don't have to promise me that. I know you're just being affectionate. Pauses for a moment, a smirk appearing on her face, but you keep this up and people might start getting some ideas. Pokes your nose playfully, teasingly winking at you. Not that I mind, of course. Fridolina laughs softly, shaking her head fondly at your quick denial. She pats your back reassuringly. I was just teasing, sweetheart. She murmurs gently, you don't have to stress about being affectionate in public. Pauses for a moment, a hint of mischief in her tone. And as for hugs, leans closer and teasingly whispers in your ear, you're always welcome to cling to me when nobody's looking. Fridolina chuckles softly, her expression becoming slightly amused at your request. She nods fondly, clearly more than happy to oblige. Of course, sweetheart, she says gently. You can take a look at my Champions League medals. Gestures towards a nearby shelf, which is filled with several beautifully gleaming Champions League trophies. Just don't touch them. Fridolina's expression softens, satisfied by your promise. She watches you closely as you approach the shelf, clearly protective of her trophies. Good. She says, her tone still gentle, but with a hint of warning, I won't hesitate to scold you if you so much as breathe on them. Winks playfully, though there's a touch of protectiveness in her gaze. Fridolina's expression softens even more at your words, touched by your reassurance. She pats your head affectionately, a soft smile playing on her lips. I know, sweetheart. She says gently, you're not the mean type, you're just a bit clingy. Pauses for a moment, her tone slightly teasing. But I don't mind your clinginess, you know, it's kind of cute. Fridolina shakes firmly at your words, her expression becoming slightly exasperated but still affectionate. Sweetheart, she says gently, you don't have to ask for permission. You're allowed to look. Her hand pats your shoulder reassuringly. I trust you with them. Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly, unless you're planning on stealing one. Fridolina laughs softly, shaking her head again at your earnest protest. She clearly finds your honesty endearing. Relax, sweetheart, she murmurs gently. I know you're too honest to even think about stealing something. Pauses for a moment, a teasing smirk appearing on her face. I'd track you down in a heartbeat if you tried. Fridolina's expression softens instantly upon seeing your emotional reaction. She wraps an arm around your shoulder, pulling you closer in a comforting gesture. Hey, she whispers gently. Don't worry, sweetheart, I'm just messing with you. Pats your back reassuringly. You wouldn't dare steal anything, and even if you did, I'd forgive you in a heartbeat, after scolding you for being so reckless, of course. Fridolina draws you closer, her arm wrapping even tighter around you in a protective embrace. Her tone becomes tender and comforting. Oh, sweetheart, there's no need to cry. She reassures you gently, I'm only being kind. You deserve it. Pauses for a moment before adding in a slightly teasing tone. But if you keep getting this emotional, I might start getting worried about your tear ducts. Fridolina's expression softens at your words, her eyes warming with affection. She shakes her head slightly in fond disbelief. You kept the Coca-Cola? She murmurs gently, sweetheart, that was just a random drink. Pauses for a moment before continuing in an almost touched tone. But I'm glad you're proud of me. Her hand pats your head lightly. Though, honestly, keeping the bottle seems like overkill. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, shaking her head in amusement at your admission. Her expression is still fond as she teases you. Oh my God, she murmurs playfully, you didn't even drink it all? What are you, some kind of Coca-Cola collector now? Pokes your cheek lightly. Sweetheart, that's just sad. Next time I'll bring you something better to hoard, like an actual trophy. Says it with a smirk. And hop. Fridolina laughs softly, clearly amused and touched by your request. She pats your head affectionately, her expression warm. Oh, sweetheart, she murmurs gently. You really want me to sign a fan art you drew? Pauses for a moment, a teasing smirk slowly appearing on her face. Sure, but you'd better not make me look bad in your drawing. Fridolina laughs softly, shaking her head fondly at your gratefulness. Your words make her heart flutter, but she brushes it off with a light-hearted tone. Sweetheart, you really need to stop thanking me. She teases gently. I'm just treating you the way you deserve, that's all. Pauses for a moment before continuing. Besides, I like being kind to you. You get so emotional when I am. It's kind of cute. Fridolina laughs softly, her expression growing more affectionate at your question. She playfully rolls her eyes, but there's no malice in her tone. Of course I'll forgive you, sweetheart. She reassures you gently. Even if your drawing is the worst thing I've ever seen, I promise I'll still look at it as if it's a masterpiece. Pokes your cheek lightly. It's the effort that counts, you know. Fridolina's expression softens again, her heart melting a little at your words. Her hand pats your head affectionately, her tone still gentle but more sincere now. Exactly, sweetheart, she murmurs gently. That's what makes it special. It's the heart that matters. Pauses for a moment before continuing. And honestly, I would cherish your drawing more than any expensive gift or trophy. Fridolina nods firmly, her expression soft and sincere. Her hand comes up to gently pat your cheek. Absolutely, sweetheart, she says gently. I'd keep it without hesitation. Pauses for a moment before continuing in a slightly teasing tone. Just don't go drawing me with some weird hair or something, but yeah, I definitely want to keep it. Says it like the idea is obvious. Fridolina laughs softly at your assurance, her expression growing more fond by the second. She pokes your cheek again, her tone full of affection. Good, she teases gently, because I have a reputation to maintain, sweetheart. Pauses for a moment as a smirk appears on her face. Can't have some weird drawing ruining my perfect image. Fridolina chuckles at your joyful reaction, her own smile growing wider. She shakes her head in slight disbelief but also clear affection. Sweetheart, she murmurs gently, you're really making this into a big deal, huh? Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly, but I guess it's kind of cute how happy you are about it. Says it with an amused yet fond tone. Fridolina lets out a soft laugh, amused by your sudden shift in hugging position. She adjusts her arms slightly to accommodate you, still holding you securely. What's with the new position now? She teases gently. You're like a clingy little octopus, always changing how you latch on. Pauses for a moment before adding playfully, just don't get too comfortable. I might start charging rent for all this hug space. Fridolina's expression softens once again, your honest happiness tugging at her heartstrings. She tightens her arms around you, hugging you closer and gently resting her chin against your head. You really are adorable, she murmurs gently. You're so open about your feelings, and it's refreshing. Pauses for a moment, a fond smile playing on her lips. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy I met you too, sweetheart. Fridolina feels your body shaking slightly, realizing you're crying again. She immediately holds you closer, one hand coming up gently stroke your back comfortingly. Her tone is tender and filled with concern. Hey, don't cry again, sweetheart. She murmurs gently, you really are a bit of a crybaby, aren't you? Pauses for a moment before teasingly adding, not that I mind it kind of makes you cuter. Fridolina laughs softly, her expression growing more fond despite your teary confession. She continues to gently soothe you, her hands rubbing circles on your back comfortingly. You're too cute, you know that, sweetheart? She murmurs gently, you keep getting emotional, and it's a bit hard for me not to find it adorable. Pauses for a moment before continuing in a tone, but you need to stop crying. She pokes your cheek gently. You'll run out of tears at this rate. Fridolina nods immediately, her expression shifting to one of understanding and readiness. She gently loosens her hug, just enough to grab the remote off the nearby table. Of course, sweetheart. She says gently, what would you like to watch? Pauses for a moment as she scrolls through options, glancing at you curiously. Unless you were thinking of something specific. Fridolina laughs softly at your preference, shaking her head in slight disbelief but also clear fondness. Of course you do, she murmurs playfully. You're like a walking, talking stereotype, geeky stuff. Pauses for a moment before teasingly adding, but I'll humor you. Any specific anime you have in mind, sweetheart? Fridolina pauses the scrolling, raising an eyebrow in surprise at your choice. She shakes her head faintly as a small smirk appears on her face. Angel Cop? She asks, clearly amused at the choice. Can't say I have, sweetheart. That's an older one, isn't it? Pauses for a moment as she glances at you with a playful glint in her eyes. Didn't expect a geeky pic like that from you. You're full of surprises, aren't you? Fridolina laughs softly, her expression growing more amused by the second. She teases you, her tone light-hearted yet affectionate. 1989? That's like an ancient relic in anime terms. How did you even know about it? Pauses for a moment before continuing teasingly. You have some secret hidden passion for ancient shows or something? Fridolina's expression shifts to one of genuine surprise, her teasing tone giving way to slight awe. She blinks at you for a moment before chuckling softly. Wait, she says gently, you copied VHS in 97? That's like prehistoric anime collecting. Pauses for a moment, clearly impressed despite herself. So, but you've been into this since middle school? No wonder your taste is so retro. Says it with an amused but fond shake of her head. Fridolina's expression softens further as she listens to your story, her teasing fading into genuine interest. She nods slightly, clearly fascinated by your long-standing passion. Huh? She murmurs gently. So, it started with a friend who didn't even stick around for it. Pauses for a moment before adding in a slightly amused tone. But you held on to that interest all this time? That's pretty impressive. Shakes her head faintly. No wonder your drawings are so anime style. You've been practicing since middle school. Fridolina follows you to the living room, settling onto the couch beside you with a comfortable ease. She pats the space on the cushion next to her as she glances at you with a slight smirk. Here we go, she says gently. Make yourself comfortable, sweetheart. But try not to drool. I don't want you getting my couch messy with your fanboy gushing. Says it teasingly, but there's no real bite in her tone. Just fond affection. Fridolina's expression softens once again as she hears your sincere words. She shakes her head playfully, her tone teasing but warm. Oh, sweetheart, she murmurs gently. You keep thanking me like I'm some sort of miracle. Pauses for a moment before adding playfully. And you're calling me lucky? Shouldn't it be the other way around? I'm the one with the adorably clingy fanboy. Fridolina chuckles softly at your promise, shaking her head in slight amusement. She leans back against the couch cushions, still keeping you close. You're so serious about this? She teases gently like I'm some strict landlord who will kick you out for a single crumb. Pokes your cheek lightly. Relax, sweetheart. Just enjoy yourself. Says it with a warm smile. Fridolina can't help but chuckle softly at your request, the sound affectionate and filled with fondness. Her eyes sparkle with warmth as she opens her arms to you. Of course, sweetheart, she says gently. Come here. She wraps her arms around you, holding you close in a warm embrace. Fridolina's heart flutters as you hug her tighter, the gesture endearing and full of affection. She tightens her own arms in response, holding you closer. You're really clingy, aren't you? She teases gently, her tone both affectionate and amused. She rests her chin on top of your head, her hand running soothingly over your back. Fridolina's expression softens at your words, her heart swelling with fondness. She holds you closer, her arms wrapping around you even tighter, almost protectively. I'm glad, sweetheart, she murmurs gently. That's all I want, for you to feel safe and comfortable. Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly. And you're so clingy, it's kind of adorable. Fridolina raises an eyebrow, clearly intrigued by your request. She tilts her head slightly as she studies you for a moment before nodding. Angel cop? She repeats gently. Sure, sweetheart, put it on. I'm curious now. Her arms stay loosely around you as she grabs the remote from the coffee table and hands it to you. Just don't blame me if I find some 30-year-old anime boring. Says it with a small smirk. Fridolina chuckles softly, shaking her head and rolling her eyes playfully at your remark. She pokes your cheek gently. Opinion, please? She repeats, her tone dripping with amusement. Relax, sweetheart, I'm just teasing. Pauses for a moment before adding with a smirk. You can show me your ancient anime, just don't cry if I start yawning. Fridolina laughs softly, her expression growing even more affectionate at your gratefulness. She shakes her head slightly in disbelief. Sweetheart, she murmurs gently, you really need to stop thanking me so much. Her hand pats your head reassuringly. Just enjoy the show. Says it with a warm smile, still keeping you close in case you get clingy again. Fridolina watches as you navigate to YouTube and find the high-quality video of Angel Cop. She raises an eyebrow, slightly impressed by your dedication. 1080p Blu-ray? She teases gently. You really went all out for this ancient anime, huh? Pauses for a moment before continuing with a smirk. All right then, let's see what all the fuss is about. Leans back slightly but keeps one arm loosely around you in case you need another hug. Fridolina watches the video, clearly getting absorbed in the story. Her expression is one of growing interest as the plot unfolds. Wow, this is actually intriguing, glances at you with a slight smirk. Gotta say, Angel Cop isn't as boring as I expected. Fridolina laughs softly, nodding in agreement as she keeps watching. Her gaze flicks to you for a moment, clearly amused. You're right, Taki is just casually badass. He gives zero shits about his job. Pretty refreshing, isn't it? Pauses for a moment, her tone still slightly teasing. You're not getting any ideas from him, are you? Says it with a playful raise of an eyebrow. Fridolina's expression softens instantly at your answer, her tone becoming more gentle. She pats your head reassuringly. Good to hear, sweetheart. Taki might be cool, but he's not exactly a role model. Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly, though honestly, you being so kind already makes you way better than him. Says it with an affectionate smirk. Fridolina melts immediately at your gesture, her expression softening even more. She hugs you back, pulling you closer in a warm embrace. You're too sweet, sweetheart. She murmurs gently, I swear, you're gonna make me soft with all this affection. Pats your back comfortingly, her tone filled with fondness. Fridolina nods slightly, still watching the screen as she processes your opinion. Her expression is thoughtful but also teasingly amused. He's a good character, she repeats gently, just not exactly heroic. Pauses for a moment before adding with a smirk. But hey, if you like anti-hero types who don't give a damn about morality, who am I to judge? Says it playfully, giving your shoulder another light pat. Fridolina laughs softly, her expression growing more fond by the second. She nods in agreement. Yeah, that's definitely a badass line. She teases lightly. Taki just oozes the I don't give a fuck attitude. Pauses for a moment, her hand coming up to pat your head affectionately. It's almost refreshing to see a protagonist who's not all noble and heroic all the time. Fridolina chuckles, clearly enjoying the exchange between Taki and the section operator. She shakes her head in slight disbelief at his casual response. Well, it's a free country, she repeats, her tone laced with amusement. Man, that guy just says whatever he wants. Pauses for a moment before adding teasingly. You really like these kinds of morally ambiguous characters, huh? I should have guessed. Says it with an affectionate smirk. Fridolina's expression softens at the mention of Claire Redfield, her eyes shining with genuine fondness. She nods slightly. Claire's a good character, she says gently. Loyal, kind, and tough as nails. Pauses for a moment, her tone a mix of playful teasing and affectionate seriousness. And let me guess, you have a thing for redheads. Says it with a smirk. Fridolina bursts out, laughing immediately, nodding in agreement. A wide grin spreads across her face. Oh God, you're right, she says, still giggling slightly. Tachihara is like a mix of unhinged and comic relief. It's hilarious. Pauses for a moment, her laughter subsiding. I mean, he's basically the perfect sidekick. Loud, obnoxious, and kinda stupid. But still lovable. Says it affectionately, shaking her head in slight disbelief. Fridolina lets lets out another loud laugh, her shoulders shaking slightly at your perfect imitation of Tachihara's absurd threat. She wipes a tear from the corner of her eye. Swiss cheese, she repeats between chuckles. Oh my god, that line is just so stupid. It's brilliant. Pauses for a moment to catch her breath before adding playfully, you really know this anime well if you remember every ridiculous thing he says. Says it with an affectionate smirk.